that has to be the highlight of my career so far for sure. I mean, I was just trying. Yeah, I mean, I was just trying. I don't even remember running the bases. I kind of just blacked out. So maybe I might have ran the bases quick that time. I don't even remember.
Fredette for the lead. Yes. Fredette to the 3. Bullseye. What a shot by Fredette.
Crunch time. The boy gave us more trays than
He's got his J back, folks, and the eye of the tiger.
This is From the Logo with Jimmer Fredette.
Back for more, and hopefully better than ever. This is From the Logo. I am Spencer Linton. He is Jimmer Fredette. Great to have you with us for our deep-range conversations about life inside and well beyond the world of sports. Jimmer, happy Thanksgiving, brother. How are preparations for the most celebrated meal of the year at the Fredette home?
We're excited this year. We have 27 people that we're hosting at the house, and we are getting prepared for that, right? That's that mentally, physically, getting prepared for that. It's a lot, but it is absolutely a blast. I love Thanksgiving. Awesome time. It is the best meal of the year, just because there's so much that goes around it. But at the same time, I mean, there are some other great meals out there. We'll have to discuss that at some point of what other meals are out there. But I'm excited about Thanksgiving and a lot to be thankful for this year. So very, very excited to talk about that.
27 people. Okay, that in and of itself is a lot to handle. But does the crowd allow you to watch football while you eat, or are they a turn off the football, it's all about family, you can watch football later type crowd?
This is my house we're talking about here, Spence. Yeah. We are watching football. We are absolutely watching football. If you don't want to watch football, you can look the other way. We have it on all day, 100%. There will be football on, and I love it. Love eating my turkey and my dressing and all the stuff while I'm watching the Cowboys and the Lions and enjoying my time.
Your house, your rules. I applaud it, Jimmer. It just makes my heart happy. I love my in-laws. Sometimes they try and flex the National Dog Show competition that happens on Thanksgiving. Okay, so don't let Whitney know.
No, believe me, she is all on that. She is on that. The National Dog Show for sure. But we have, a couple different TVs in the house, so we can mix and mash, right, and make sure. But she just wants to see the golden retriever because she loves our golden snacks, So she, as long as she can see the golden and then maybe see the winner, she's okay. She's not locked in the whole time. So I will appreciate that. So.
Fair enough. More Thanksgiving talk in a moment. Once again, our purpose in this podcast, if you're new to joining us, 1, welcome. And 2, that purpose is to uplift, educate, and entertain with an array of topics, including current events, Jimmer's life experiences, my life experiences, and certainly the stories from our featured guests' lives. Bottom line, we hope you all feel better after hanging out with us. And last week's guest, Jimmer, hosts a podcast entitled I Hope This Helps. Comedian Dustin Anderson was not surprisingly hilarious, super dry sense of humor, and a memorable conversation.
He was great. I mean, you put me on Dustin, to be honest with you. And I've been listening to his stuff. I follow him. He's unbelievably super funny. And I'm just curious if Jennifer Aniston has unfollowed him at this point. That's my big question, because there's been a lot of buzz about that. It's been going out there. And if it's gotten back to her, it might feel a little creepy. She might have hit the unfollow button. We'll see. I'm going to have to ask him after the episode. But he was great. He's so funny and just a big BYU sports fan, too. Big sports fan in general. So it was fun to talk to him.
Yeah, super fun to listen to how much his happiness as a kid growing up in sports, and then as an adult, whether it was with Ty Detmer back in the early 90s or with you in 2011, how that impacts him. Not surprisingly, he is dialed in as a BYU fan for sure.
Yes, he absolutely was, still is. And he's having a good time right now. BYU sports, they're very good, right? From top to bottom, they're very, very good. It's fun to watch them right now, and a lot of hope out there in Provo, and it's fun to see. He lives and dies by it, but yeah, definitely check out the episode because it was a lot of fun.
By the way, all of our episodes available right now on our growing quickly YouTube channel or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. We'd love for you to subscribe, rate, and review the podcast and our YouTube channel. We love feedback. Okay, with that said, we're ready for the opening tip-off. We've got some Turkey Day drama to get to in just a moment. Some playoff drama as well, Jimmer. A Gold Glove finalist in Major League Baseball is going to join us. He is a Swiss Army knife of sorts in pro baseball. Daniel Schneemann takes on the full court press. We know he can hit a baseball, and that's really hard to do, but can he handle the high heat we're going to be throwing towards him, Jimmer?
No, I mean, not many people can. I mean, we ask such tough questions that it's very difficult for everyone to answer. But Schneemann is great. I mean, he's a utility guy everywhere on the field, and I love that. I love being able to see him play in multiple positions. Like, it's really a cool experience to chat with him. Another BYU guy. And he's a fun listen, and also just a really great baseball player. I mean, Gold Glove nominee. Like, that's about as good as it gets for a baseball player or an athlete in general to have Gold Glove by your name.
Oh, man.
So cool.
And he chose the hard route.
Yeah.
33rd round draft pick by the Cleveland Guardians. In fact, I think they were still the Cleveland Indians at the time he got drafted, and then they became the Guardians as he made his way through their minor league system. But 6 years in the minors, long distance relationship with his love of his life, Allie Hancock Schneemann, who's a softball coach at BYU. They have 2 kids now, like balancing all of that and then getting the call to the bigs. Fascinating story that I'm super excited for all of you to listen to. We also have Jimmer's latest 3x3 update from his teams across the globe as USA pushes for gold in 2028. That said, it's time for the Early Trey. 3 top-of-mind subjects to set the pace, get this conversation rolling with full steam, much like a Jimmer Trey right after tip-off. Jimmer, I know the answer, but are you ready to shoot?
3s are up. Let's get it going.
Love it. Number 1, in the spirit of Thanksgiving and the aforementioned most celebrated meal of the year, what is the best Thanksgiving food item on the table every year?
Oh my goodness, it's so difficult, right? There's so many great things. I've had an answer to this for a long time. That was the same answer. And right now, I actually may change that answer.
What?
I might. So my traditional favorite has always been the stuffing.
Okay, understandable.
Understandable. It's a high priority pick because you don't really have it at any other time, right? You have stuffing basically only during Thanksgiving. At least our family does. That's the only time I really ever have it. So it's a novelty, but it's delicious. It's really good, and I love it. The last couple of years, we have had this sweet potato pie, casserole, whatever you want to call it.
Yes. Does it have walnuts in it? And is it loaded with brown sugar?
Brown sugar, no walnuts because we have some allergies in the family.
Okay.
No walnuts, marshmallows on top.
Yep.
And it is just incredible. I mean,
yes,
it's basically a dessert before the dessert.
Yep.
So I have a very great section on my plate for sweet potato casserole, whatever we want to call it. And I want to make sure that it's kind of separated from everything else. I don't want anything to touch it because I want the full impact of that without gravy on it or anything. So I got to make sure it's separated. And it is probably my favorite thing that we eat at Thanksgiving now. And I've changed my answer now that I think about it because the stuffing is still great, still 1B, but my number 1 is the sweet potato casserole that we have.
Jimmer, you and I see eye to eye. I'm surprised you went there. I'm so used to people saying the traditional, turkey, and people have been doing the fried turkeys and all these different ways of cooking it. And
no one really likes turkey. No one really likes turkey. Come on.
I mean, shout out to my guy, Cam True, who owns Bam Bam's Barbecue in Utah. His smoked turkey, delicious.
That's true.
So really good there. But the sweet potato casserole, I don't even know the official name like you.
Right.
It is so good. My wife, Brittany, what she makes there, and she adds a little bit of crunch, as I mentioned, with the walnuts in it, but the marshmallows, the heaps of brown sugar, it is the best thing on the table right now. I know there are a lot of great things about Thanksgiving dinner. That for me is why I look forward to the meal. I'm not like a heavy eater at Thanksgiving, but I'll eat like 3 servings of that.
I am a heavy eater at Thanksgiving. I mean, my My brother and I and my cousin, when we were younger, we used to try to eat for an hour straight. That was the goal. We wanted to eat for an hour straight, and that is hard to do. I'm gonna not lie, that is very hard to do. But we would put it all out there, and we'd eat slowly, right? We'd go and we get some stuff, and we eat, and then we come back, and we go and fill up the plate again, and we, kind of dabble, all those different types of things. So I mean, we definitely. We tried to do that. We pounded on Thanksgiving. There's absolutely no other way to do it. And we just absolutely we would go for it. So I'm not with you on that. I'm going all in.
Okay. Fair enough. There's no calorie count on Thanksgiving. Okay. In contrast, what's the most overrated Thanksgiving food? The thing that needs to be taken off the table?
Cranberry sauce. I'm just gonna say it.
Yeah, I knew you were my blood brother.
Yep.
I knew it. We've had our disagreements on things.
Yep.
But in this regard, we are absolutely in lockstep. Truth be told, we did not talk about this before the podcast started.
We did not
say a single word about this. I presented the topic. Jimmer said, yes, let's do it. And you and I are in lockstep on both sides of this conversation.
I love it. Great minds think alike when it comes to food. And cranberry sauce could be fully gone. You could take it completely off of the planet if you want to. It doesn't matter to me. I am fully off the cranberry sauce. I don't touch it. I don't look at it. I just completely shove it aside. And I am not for the cranberry sauce. There's no need for that on the plate when there's so many other good things. I'm not wasting calories on the cranberry sauce. I'm just saying.
I'm so fulfilled right now. This is the emotional meal before the actual meal on Thanksgiving. Fantastic stuff for our opening item in the early tray. Bonus question here. What's your favorite kind of pie on Thanksgiving?
I'm a pecan pie guy. That's my favorite. And that's how you say it. Pecan. That's upstate New York, East Coast. It is pecan, not pecan. Like Whitney would tell me to say, it is pecan pie. And that is my favorite. I'm just letting you know right now. That is.
Dang it, Jimmer, we were rolling, dude. I was agreeing with everything you had to say until you brought up pecan. But
pecan pie, baby.
I like the choice of the flavor. My issue is more with how you say pecan. Okay, all right. Fair.
I don't know why people always say this. How do you say CAN? It's can. You don't say con, right? Like it's pecan. I'm just saying. I'm going all in on that, and it's a lot of fun. But yeah, Whitney makes fun of me every time I say something, basically, because of the upstate New York. So there you go.
If you were from the South, I'd probably give you the benefit of the doubt. I didn't know this was an upstate New York thing, though. Okay.
I don't know.
Fair enough.
I don't know.
I'm a key lime pie guy at Thanksgiving. I love the graham cracker crust. Little tart after a lot of savory during the meal. Okay. Bonus question aside, on to number 2 in the early tray. Football is a huge part of Thanksgiving Day, both at the collegiate level and at the professional level. So let's start with the college aspect here, with the college football playoff looming and the NFL playoffs around the corner in early January. It just got me thinking about a number of topics. And the college football playoff is a little closer to us. It's interesting to see how preseason rankings are impacting how the playoff committee values teams and resumes. So my question for you is, are preseason rankings hurting the integrity of major college sports? And if so, how would you modify it?
Yeah, it's hard because it definitely puts an image in your head from the beginning of the season of what that team is, right? You're like, okay, this team must be really good. They're ranked in the top 10. And it's hard to get that out as a human being, right? And then you start watching them play and things can shift and change, but at the same time, you can see a team that's put in the top 10 and you're looking at them as the eye test and you're like, you know what? I don't know if they're a top 10 team, but they're still winning. So because they're winning, they're going to stay in that top 10 until they lose. And rightfully so, right? Like until they do that. But then at that point, if you get to the middle of the season, maybe they're 6-0 and, they get down to 6-1 because they lose the game. You don't think they're in the top 10, but at the same time, you're like, I don't want to drop them 15 spots, right? Like, I don't know if that's realistic to do it to a team. So there's those connotations that you come in with because there is a rank, whether it's pro or not, right? If you're not in the top 25 and you're a really good team and you start winning games, you sneak into the top 25. It takes you a long time to maybe get up to that top 10, top 15, or into the playoff, even if you are a playoff caliber team. So I think that does hurt some people. Obviously it helps some of the bigger schools generally, like the blue bloods of football. A lot of those teams that are in the top 10, they're going to stay generally around that if they have a fairly good season. So it definitely is a little bit of a skewed system. I don't know what the answer is as far as how you take that and change it. Maybe you just don't rank people until like maybe the second, third week of the season.
Even
You
later,
just
maybe.
say, hey, or even later, maybe, right? Maybe you're just like, hey, we're just going to let it go for a little while, see where these teams are at. And then at that point, we'll make our top 25. But then at that point, it's also like, all right, so you have to go back and look at these wins and see. So I understand why they do it, because of content. They need content. They want people to talk about it. They want the shows to talk about it.
Sure.
It's good for that. So I understand it, but it would be better for the sport and for the team specifically if you did it later.
Yeah, I mean, I am all about creating excitement and context for college football games and giving people an added interest to want to dial in and tune in. Ratings drive everything. The advertising dollars most prominently for television networks, and they pay billions of dollars to own the rights to put these games on early in the season. But I still think diehards would watch even if there wasn't a number next to their favorite team. You're telling me Ohio State's fan base isn't going to watch the game if Ohio State doesn't have a preseason number one next to it? Come on. They'll still watch. They'll still look at it. I am in favor of ranking teams at the halfway point of the season for the first time. Because if you look at this year's preseason rankings in college football, Texas was the preseason number one. A team like Florida State, terrible. Penn State was number, I want to say 2 or 3, Jimmer. Where are those teams right now? They're nowhere close to the top of college football. So why not wait till the halfway point and then just say, okay, here we've played 6 games. Most teams have played 3 conference games. We get a feel of how they really are. And here are the initial rankings. I feel like preseason rankings weigh too heavily in the playoff committee's minds. And it just kind of sets these patterns and tones that are hard to break free from when you're truly evaluating a team, because you have these long-standing things in your mind of, but everybody's been saying that they're good since August 15th. Come on. No, we need to have the ability to adjust. So my 2 cents, I think it is hurting the sport a little bit, especially for teams that are not in the SEC or the Big Ten, are not your typical blue bloods. It hurts the teams in those conferences outside of that primarily. So if I could change it, I'd do the first rankings 6 weeks in, and then we'll see what we got.
Yep, I agree. I understand why you do it. It's literally just money and content. That's why they do it. Money and content, and they need to give something to the fans. They need to give something to the content. Sure. You can talk about it for the rest of the season, and you can actually, hey, like a Penn State, that's a storyline now. So they can go and be like, oh, wow, how did they drop out of the top 10? Why did they do this? And they can build off of that. So it's just storytelling. That's the only reason why they do it. But I agree with you. I think it should be later in the season. So
okay. Final question here in the early tray, and it is an extension of this conversation to a degree. The college football playoff currently stands at 12 teams. There's been a lot of conversation about expanding it to 14, 16. I've seen as many as 24 or 28 team models thrown out there, which are both absolutely ridiculous, but whatever. And even March Madness, the talk of expanding that field from 68 to 76. Jimmer, where do you stand on the conversation of expanding the college football playoff, number one, and then expanding March Madness on the basketball side?
Yeah, let's start college playoff football. I liked 8 teams. That was my favorite. I really liked 8 teams. I think you got conference winners. And then at that point, that means that the conference means something. Then you get an at-large bid from a, non-traditional Power 5 team, and then you get 2 at-large bids. I really think that was very good. I honestly don't see any problems as far as that's concerned. The biggest thing, again, we go back to is money. They're going to make more money when they have 12 teams in the playoff. That's just how it works, right? That's how college and professional sports are. The more money they make, the more sponsorships they have, the more games they have, the better. So that's the reason why that you're looking at these types of models. But I think it should mean something to get into the playoff. Like, I think it really should. And when you keep expanding it to 24 or 28 teams, it just doesn't mean as much, I feel like, to get into the playoff. Whereas when you have 8 teams, you have to win your conference. You can have an at-large bid. You have a non-traditional Power 5 that gets in there. Everyone gets a chance, and it creates that drama. So I think that would be good. Do not get me started on expanding the NCAA, the March Madness. Please do not do that. We already expanded it to to 68 teams, which, okay, that's fine. You have the plans. That's great. Don't expand it anymore. It means something. It's worked. Like, the NCAA tournament has worked for a long time. It's worked for years, and everyone loves it. It's their favorite thing that they watch. Every March that comes around. It's one of the top things that people watch and love in sports. You don't need to change it. It is completely fine. Please don't mess with it. That's all I have to say about it.
Well said. 100% in your corner for the NCAA men's basketball championships. March Madness is beautiful and perfect as it is. I know that it wouldn't change it that much to take it from 68 to 76, but still, again, the model has worked for so long.
Yeah.
What are we doing? Like,
Yeah.
It's not going to add that much more money to add a few more games that are early round games and the first 4 becomes the first 8. No, I don't like that at all. Keep it at 68. We're good. As far as the college football playoff goes, you've already taken it to 12. And if you've taken it to 12, why not just take it to 16 and call it good? That way, every team that makes the college football playoff is playing a first round game at home sites. It just feels like it's more congruent and makes more sense. And frankly, if you look at last year's model, the 4 teams that had a bye in the first round, Jimmer, they all lost their first game.
It's crazy.
There is an advantage in my mind to the team that just played and it hasn't had as long of a layoff, and they're going, like, they're cooking. So I take it to 16. Call it good. 1 plays 16, 2 plays 15, so on and so forth. And if you win your first round game and you have a home game, then you're into the quarterfinals and major bowl game. And that's as much as I would go. I wouldn't take it more than 16, but my gosh, like, it just push it up to 4, make it an even bracket, no first round buys, especially when the first round buys didn't seem to help those teams. And a team like Oregon last year, who was the number 1 overall team, their reward for their first round bye was to face Ohio State, who eventually won the national championship. Good job, Oregon. You get Ohio State, and now you're out. No more of that, dude. No more of that.
Yeah, no, I understand. I get it. I understand. I don't like the 12. If you're going to go to 16 to make it even, I agree. I still don't like the 16. I like the 8 just because, it just makes a lot of sense to me. I hear it and I'm like, oh, yes, that makes sense. The 5 big conference winners, non-traditional, 2 at-large bids, whoever that is, and you play. And then you just play, 1 to 8, 2 to 7, you just go. And so I get it, the 16 as well, but I love that 8 model. That was my favorite. So that's what I would say. But I want to hear what everyone else thinks.
Let us know. The Early Trey, as always, launching from the logo. Let's take our first break. When we come back, Major League Baseball star Daniel Schneemann goes to bat. Our one-on-one with one of baseball's most unique pro players. When From the Logo with Jimmer Fredette continues.
If you or your business are looking to reach a wide audience, From the Logo with Jimmer Fredette will help you reach your goals. Whether you're interested in title sponsorship, segment sponsorship, or product placement on the podcast, email us at jimmerftl@gmail.com and let us help you shoot your shot.
Welcome back to From the Logo with Jimmer Fredette. It is time for the full court press with our VIP guest. And he is a baseball star, but he still understands the terminology of the pressure of a full court press because he steps into a major league batter's box in playoff baseball this last season, no less. Daniel Schneemann is our guest, the guy who was drafted in the 33rd round by the Cleveland Guardians out of BYU following his junior season with the Cougars. 6 years in the minor leagues to get his call up to the majors, and now he is an integral and incredibly important piece of the Guardians lineup. He's taken on the full court press. Daniel Schneemann is on From the Logo. We talked to him a few days ago. Here is that conversation. Daniel, welcome to From the Logo, my friend. Are you ready to shoot your shots with me and Jimmer Fredette?
Yeah. Thanks for having me on the show. I'm excited.
You got it, brother. Before we pushed record, we were just talking about how enjoyable it was to watch you compete with the Cleveland Guardians again in the playoffs and watch you be a significant piece and contributor there. What is that moment like for you in playoff baseball when you rocket a shot off your bat for an RBI and the place is going absolutely bonkers?
Yeah, that was really special. Just being in that moment, it was so loud, it almost felt like white noise. So there wasn't a whole lot going through my head except just trying to enjoy the moment.
Playoff atmospheres in any sport is pretty incredible. But Spence and I talked about this before, but there's something about baseball playoffs that are it's America's pastime, right? Like, people love good baseball when it's, especially now, like the pitch clock, I swear, has helped change the game, and people watching it, and it's going through, it got a good rhythm to it now. But when you get into these amazing stadiums and then be able to hear the fans and just see how much they love their baseball teams, it's really nothing like it. But one question real quick, which stadium is prettier, BYU or the Guardians? What do we got here? What do you think, Daniel? I mean, come on.
I mean, not many things can beat that backdrop with those mountains at BYU. So we're just talking specifically about the backdrop, for sure, BYU.
Yeah, for sure. Not quite as big of a stadium, but more beautiful. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I think I agree with that for sure.
Daniel, now that you are into your second season of being a Major League Baseball player, and over that initial probably shock of, holy cow, I'm in the show, and now you're in the playoffs and you're doing your thing and you're a regular contributor, where do you feel like you've grown the most in the Major League platform?
I mean, every year I try to make strides offensively. It's kind of been an area that I've been wanting to focus on really my whole career, even coming up to the minors. But I remember my rookie season, I think I was just playing a little stressed, maybe just putting a little too much pressure on myself defensively. And so I was really happy just with the strides I made defensively this year, just getting more comfortable, moving around, playing different positions, getting more comfortable with the atmosphere, and just doing a better job of just blocking all those things out, and then just kind of letting my work, translate to the game.
Yeah. So everyone, in professional sports, at some point, once they get into the majors, an NBA, whatever that is, they always have someone that they kind of look up to, or someone that is kind of a mentor to them, or maybe that, you follow kind of what they do, because they do it the right way, professional way. Who has that been for you in your major league journey at this point?
I mean, there were a lot of players that I enjoyed watching growing up. I liked watching players that I would want to emulate my game after. Brandon Crawford was one. I think if you ask every infielder in the United States, they would say Jeter, just like I'm gonna. But of course, Jeter. Growing up, I watched him a lot. But really, just kind of left-handed shortstops. I mean, those are a lot of the players that I wanted to be like, and kind of, like I said before, just emulate my game after. Francisco Lindor was another great player. So just trying to play like them, because they play the game the right way.
And Derek Jeter, for me, I mean, I'm a Yankees guy, so I appreciate hearing that. Not many, you either love the Yankees or they hate the Yankees. So I appreciate hearing that, because I was a big Jeter guy.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to talk great things about the Yankees anymore. I'll stop right there. But
I know, that's what I was gonna say. I was like, wait a second.
I got to be careful.
Yeah, interesting that you bring that up. Who do Guardians fans consider their clear and biggest rival in baseball? Is it the Yankees? If not, who is it?
Usually it's a team that's like in our division. We go at it with the Tigers every year.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We the Yankees. I mean, if you look, I think it was 2022. They had that big scuffle on the field. The fans were throwing stuff at Straw and Kwan. And then the playoffs, I think that year as well. It was just a lot went on. So I'd probably say the Yankees. If I had to go out of the division, I'd probably say the Yankees for sure.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people would say that, right? Like there's a lot of Major League Baseball teams and fan bases that would probably say the Yankees as
Yeah.
their bitter rival, right? It's like the Cowboys in football or, that type of thing.
Yeah.
And so that's awesome. So growing up, was it always baseball for you? Like, was that your first love? Is that what you wanted to do growing up? Did you play other sports? Or was it just, hey, I knew that I wanted to be in the major leagues ever since a young kid?
Yeah, I always wanted my goal always since I was little, I wanted to play in the big leagues. I did play basketball growing up. I played basketball in high school. My freshman, sophomore year, I played I actually made basketball varsity before I made baseball varsity, which is crazy. That
Let's go. Let's go.
because I wasn't very good at basketball, but I enjoyed playing it. And then once my junior year came around, that's really when I wanted to put all my eggs in the basket and just focus on baseball.
Daniel Schneemann is with us on From the Logo. Let's talk about that build of getting into baseball and making your way into the varsity situation. And now you're considering options about where you want to play your college baseball, and you ultimately choose BYU. So how did you go from, okay, I'm good enough to play college baseball, to where BYU was the right fit for you, Daniel?
I didn't have a whole lot of offers out of high school. I had an offer from Loyola Marymount and BYU, that was it. Of course, just my ties with BYU growing up a member. I have a ton of family here in Utah. So, I mean, that was kinda on my radar, of course, wanting to play baseball here. And so when it came down to just either going to BYU or yeah, going to BYU or LMU, just looking at what might be the best fit for me. I remember when I got my offer from LMU, David Fletcher was the shortstop there. So that kinda played a little bit into my decision, just knowing how good of a infielders they had there. Not saying we didn't coming in my freshman year at BYU as well, but, um, yeah, I think just a lot of those little things kinda just made me feel like BYU is the right fit.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, similar path with me as well. I was not super heavily recruited, only a couple, offers out of high school, and decided that BYU was the right fit. Right, that was the right place to go, and it sounds similar in your situation. Once you got to BYU, how was that experience for you at the Y? How was your teammates? What was the experience like? And was it something where you were super excited about going to BYU, or were there other plans that you had before, and to go to another institution or another college, but ended up at BYU?
No, once I committed to BYU, I was all in. I was super excited about going there, and, I mean, I had in my opinion, it was the perfect college experience. I came in, I developed a ton of great relationships I still have today. I was just talking to B. Anderson. We're gonna get our kids together sometime this week. I still work out with Jackson Clough almost every single day this offseason. So, I mean, the relationships were a huge part of why I loved being at BYU so much. And also coming into BYU, it wasn't just like a cakewalk. I had to come in, I had to earn a spot. I didn't play the first half of the season my freshman year. I really had to fight for that playing time, and I think it helped me grow a ton. It helped me face some of that adversity right from the get-go. And so I think that definitely had a huge impact of me being able to fight through those things and make it to the big leagues eventually.
Your head coach, Mike Littlewood, told me very early on in your career, Daniel, that you had big league potential. He was adamant about it. And now that you've made it, I'm sure he's like, see, I told you that I saw what I saw. And you eventually, after a great BYU career and a nice senior season, you're a 33rd round pick by the Guardians organization. What were you thinking that day and that moment when you were selected in the 33rd round, well down the draft boards, more than 1,000 picks in, but when you get selected, what was going through your mind?
I was super excited. I was talking to my agent. There were a couple calls early on, but no official offers. But yeah, I wasn't always sure. I wasn't sure if I was gonna get taken in the draft. I didn't I remember I played pretty well defensively my junior year at BYU. I didn't swing it very well, so I knew I mean, the way you make the big leagues is you gotta hit, so I knew it wasn't a sure thing that I was gonna get drafted. But once I got that call from my agent, I was super excited about it, and I've heard great things about the Cleveland organization before I was drafted by them, so I was really excited about it.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. So it was your junior season at BYU that propelled you into the draft, correct?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
so I've spent 3 years at BYU.
That's right. Okay. So once you get there, you're in the minor leagues for 6 years. I mean, you chose the hard road, Daniel, and I have so much respect and love for you for doing something like that because it's just not easy. Like, but you make your way slowly up the path. How did you find the fortitude and the mental strength to get through 6 years of minor league baseball before you finally got that call up?
Yeah, I think, I mean, it's a grind. The minor leagues is a grind for sure. You don't make very much money. There's a lot of long bus rides, but I mean, just the best part about it is the relationships that you gain. Just go all those bus rides, playing cards with the boys, and grinding out 130 games a season, and then just my love for the game. I love playing the game. It made it easy. I knew that's what I wanted to do. I was just taking it 1 year at a time, but I knew I wanted to continue playing. I love the grind. I love everything about the game. So, I guess that's how I was able to kind of deal with all of it throughout my journey.
Yeah, for sure. And as a professional athlete, you have to enjoy the grind. If you do not enjoy the grind, you're not going to become the best player you can be. You're not going to be able to stick it out. You're not going to be able to get to where you need to be, specifically in baseball, because the minor leagues is difficult. I've had many friends that have played in the minors and some have made it to the majors, some have not. And they've been close. You get to AAA, and there's so much that goes involved into it to be able to make it to the major leagues, and it takes a great deal of faith to be able to do that, right? To be able to continue to stick through the difficult times. What was one moment during the minor leagues where you all of a sudden were like, it started to click, and you were like, you know what? I think this is a real opportunity for me to be able to make it to the major leagues. Like, I think this is going to happen. What was that moment in your time in the major leagues, and what was that like?
That moment didn't really come for a while. I struggled my first 3, 4 years in the minors. Um, I had a decent season in 2019. I didn't hit for much power, but I know I had like a decent batting average. But I struggled big time in 2022. I mean, there were a couple years. I mean, my like third, fourth, fifth years in the minors, I was going to spring training not knowing if I was going to have a spot. So that time didn't come until I'd say 2023. I really flipped the switch in the off season before that, just trying to hit the weight room hard, just focusing on what I can do to do more damage at the plate. And so I would say probably halfway through that season in 2023 in Columbus AAA is when I was like, okay, these adjustments that I'm making are finally working. I'm seeing a lot of progress. Like that's when I really felt like, you know what, okay, I actually might have a chance of making it.
We love to talk about big breaks, and obviously getting the call up is a massive break for you because you push so hard, you get that call. But along with that, was there somewhere else along the journey or another big break moment that you feel like, okay, I got promoted from single A to double A, or like where did you feel like the additional big breaks happened in your Major League Baseball career?
There's, a lot of times in the minors, if you're not playing well, sometimes you get promoted just because they need you to fill a spot up there, and then they'll send you back down. And they're called floaters. You don't want to be a floater, and I was actually that guy for a year or two. So I think it would go along with the same answer to my last question. Just middle of the year 2023 is when I really like saw my work and adjustments really paying off. And so yeah, before that I honestly don't think I could say I had like a big break or a big moment that really made me feel great.
Everyone, in professional sports has, excuse me, a welcome to the league moment, right? And for me, mine happened to be with the great Kobe Bryant. And I've told this story on the pod before, and it was my first game ever. And Kobe was guarding me. What was your welcome to the major league moment, and what was that like?
I'd probably say my first at bat. I mean, I watched a lot of my teammates, their first at bats when they got called up. And I talked to a lot of those guys, and a lot of them were very patient at the beginning. They wanted to kind of get their feet wet before I guess kind of letting everything just happen. And so my first at bat, I going into it, I said, I don't care if I swing over an off speed pitch, I'm not missing this heater. Luckily, I got a heater, and I put a good swing on it. But I think that was it. It really felt surreal. It felt like it was a dream. It was weird. I remember looking around, like, because you visualize these things in your head so
Yeah.
many times, and then when you actually like it's really in front of you and you're living it. It was a really weird feeling. So that whole experience, my first at bat, is probably my answer for you.
And an incredible first at bat. There were so many watching that moment unfold and understandably cheering for your success and knowing that what you had gone through. You have made a fantastic name for yourself and living being a versatile utility man. You are the Swiss Army knife for the Cleveland Guardians. You played 6 different positions this past season, Daniel.
Crazy.
How does that happen where you are such a valuable commodity that the staff feel comfortable putting you in one of 6 different positions?
I think it started just in my journey in the minors. I needed to find my way into the lineup, and so if you're not hitting 25 homers a season, hitting 300, you got to be able to help the team in different ways. So I didn't start off playing a lot of outfield. I started off moving around in the infield, playing short, second, and third. And then in 2023, right at the end of the year, is when they stuck me in the outfield to kind of just get a little comfortable out there, and that's kind of how it started. So just being able to move around, I knew that was gonna kind of help me get in the lineup, and so luckily I was able to. We got a great staff at every single level. They were there to help me work at each position and get better at each position. And so by the time I got to the majors, I was ready to move around.
Yeah, along those points, right? Like obviously the more you can do, the better, for a coaching staff. If you're, like a utility player like yourself, whether it's in baseball, basketball, football, those guys are super valuable. It's not easy to find someone that can do a lot of different things, on the field. And because of that, you've reaped some rewards, which is incredible to see. I mean, you were a Gold Glove Award finalist as a utility player. I mean, what was that moment like to be able to see your name attached to Gold Glove, right? Because, I mean, everyone knows what that is. When I was younger, I wanted to win a Gold Glove, and I didn't even want to play baseball. You know what I mean? I was like, let's go win this Gold Glove. How can I do this? How did that make you feel?
I mean, I remember it was the morning I was laying in bed and I saw the Guardians post. It was Jose Ramirez. He was a finalist as well, and so
Yeah.
they posted him, and I looked at the page and I wasn't on it. I was like, "Dang, oh, man!" I was pretty disappointed I wasn't a finalist. And so then I went on Google and I just Googled 2025 Utility Glove finalist, and my name popped up, and I was like, "Oh, what the heck? That's freaking awesome!" I woke my wife was asleep. I had to wake her up to tell her. And I know it wasn't the ultimate goal of winning one, but yeah, just being recognized, just being able to have something, kind of show me, all the progress that I made defensively and my ability to just help the team in different ways. It was awesome. And hopefully later on down the road I'm able to win it completely. But yeah, it was cool. It was awesome.
To follow up on that
Incredible
really
stuff.
quickly, real quickly, no one told you that you were a finalist. You had to Google yourself to find out if you're a What is going on? They didn't say, "Hey, Daniel, just so you know, you're going to be a finalist for the What is? You had to go on Google?
Yeah, usually like if you win awards, they'll tell you. So
Yeah.
when I saw them announce it and I wasn't on it, I was like, dang, I'm for sure I wasn't a finalist. But yeah, I had to Google
What?
it.
Oh
I
my
know.
Oh,
goodness.
heaven bless Google. My goodness.
Yeah.
You
Seriously.
played every position except first base, pitcher, and catcher. If you had to make a push to play any of those remaining 3, where would you start, Daniel?
I mean, I would have to start with first. Catching is the hardest position in the field. I'm glad I wanted to be a catcher growing up until I was like, I want to say 10. Um, and I'm grateful that my dad moved me to the infield because the way those catchers get beat up back there, it's brutal. It's a long season for them, just catching 100+ games every year, what that does to your body and your knees. So definitely would rather choose first base catcher for sure.
Yeah, my knees hurt thinking about it. Basketball players,
Yeah.
we're wimps. We always talk about our knees and like, oh my gosh, my knees are killing me. You got 6 ice bags on your knees after shoot around. You're like, we don't really need that. But who is your best friend on the team? Usually you have someone that you gravitate towards on a professional level. There's usually like a couple of guys, maybe one or two that you kind of gravitate towards and you kind of go to eat with on the road. And people don't realize like it's not like college. Professional sports are not like college. Usually people have families, they have people they hang out with outside of the sport. It's not like it's the team doing everything together. So who are those people for you?
I think one of the big things that make our team so special is how close we all are and like the chemistry that we have with each other. And so whenever we get to an away trip, whenever we take the bus to the hotel, a big group of us would always go out to eat. That I mean, who was part of that group? I want to say, yeah, Hedges, Fry, Quan, Manzo, Bo. I mean, we have a huge group of guys that we're really close to. Another good thing is when I got called up in 2024, half the team were guys that I played with the minors, played with in or in the minors I played with. So I had a super good relationship with pretty much the whole team once I got called up. Um, but I guess to answer your question, probably, I mean, I'm really close with Manzo. I spent a lot of time with Manzo in 23 and 24 in the minors before we got called up. Um, I I got drafted with Bo and Quan, so close with them, close with Fry. I mean, pretty much just guys that I spent a ton of time in the minors with. Um, but yeah, it's a big group of us that are really close with each other.
Daniel Schneemann is on From the Logo. We've talked about just how much of a grind your journey has been, but then you throw in the element of you being a minor league baseball player who is married to the beautiful Allie Hancock Schneemann, who is an assistant coach for BYU softball still. And you happen to do this long distance thing and make it work. And then you become a father too, Daniel. So, how in the world were you able and are you able to still navigate those very, very difficult circumstances in life as a professional athlete, being away from your family?
Yeah, I mean, the worst part of every year is that 2 to 3 month stretch when Allie has to be here in Provo and I'm have to leave for spring training. So thankfully we have FaceTime. We're able to FaceTime every night. We're able to talk to each other. I don't know how guys did it back then with payphones and traveling in the minors and the majors. I don't know how they did it because it's super tough just like watching your kids grow up through FaceTime those 2 3 months at a time when I'm gone. It doesn't get easier, and so I'm already dreading it right now, just knowing I have to leave in early February again. And so that time from early February to May, just trying to communicate as much as we can. Luckily, I mean, she has her hands full with what she's doing. She loves it. She loves coaching softball. Um, and so just trying to navigate the situation with both of us working and trying to handle. Now I have 2 daughters now. My daughter Tessa was born August 26th. But so yeah, I mean, just communication is how we're trying to deal with it. But yeah, like I said, that 2 month stretch is tough every single year.
It's really hard to do that from a guy who's traveled a lot and been away from his family a lot, been away from his kids a lot, to have to play professional sports. It is absolutely the worst part about it, and people don't understand that it's really hard. And you literally dread it. Like you get home from the season and you have a couple months, and then you're like, geez, you're thinking about it
Yeah,
all the time, right? Like I have
yeah,
to leave. I know I have to leave. It's coming. I'm trying to cherish this time as much as I possibly can. I mean, I got to the point where when I was home, I didn't want to do anything with anybody else. Like people would ask me to do stuff and I'd be like, you know what? I just want to be home with the family. And so I completely understand that and get it. And it's the tough part about, professional sports. And how has it been, when you are together and you're in season though, how has that been with balancing your family with playing professional baseball? Because you guys play almost every day. It still boggles my mind. You guys play 162 games. I'm like, can we knock that down a little bit? Like that is unbelievable how many games you play. How are you balancing that with your family? Cause it's like, you're gone most of the day for those baseball games. It's not like you get there 30 minutes before you have, you're in a routine. So how are you balancing that?
Um, I mean, I think the way you have to do it, is just not taking your work home with you. Because I mean, it's a game where I mean, I deal with everyone who plays this game deals with so much failure, and so, when you come home after going 0 for 4, and my wife and kids are only with me for small amounts of time, and I'm frustrated about how I played, that's the biggest challenge for me is just being able to try to not think about it and just enjoy every second I have with my family. Um, so having to leave every single day at 12 o'clock and being gone from 12 to 10, that's just there's nothing we can do about that. So that's
Right.
just something that, yeah, I know I can't change, but what I can change is kind of just what I can do a better job at is just coming home and not letting my frustrations kind of fall on to the moment I have with my family. So I think that's the biggest challenge.
Daniel, you obviously have a lot of baseball ahead of you. At some point, when that baseball career comes to an end, what type of things are you thinking about doing? Maybe it's coaching baseball, maybe it's just being a dad for a while. But what other things interest you when your career does eventually start to wind down?
Yeah, I actually talk about this with my wife all the time. Um, She wants me to coach with her. She wants me to coach softball with her. I don't know if that would be at BYU. I don't know if that would be at somewhere else. But I think that would be awesome. I think that'd be a ton of fun. I don't know the game of softball very well. I know how it's very similar to baseball, but there's so many little things that are different. With just the way the infielders, the time they have to make a play, the way the small ball that they play compared to how the game of baseball is nowadays where everyone's hitting the ball in the air. So, I'd probably go that direction. I don't know anything else. I don't know, my whole life has been revolved around baseball, so, I'd probably stay around the game, maybe coach with her. I think that'd be great.
That would be a dynamic duo right there. Talk about getting recruits to BYU for
Yeah.
softball. Let's go. I'm for this. I'm going to talk to Brian Santiago, and I'm going to hold the place for you just in case.
Alright.
Like
Yeah,
whenever
yeah.
you're done, we'll get you a spot. B, I'm coming for you. I'm talking
We
about
know
that.
people. We know
We know
people,
people.
Daniel.
We know some people. Eh,
Yeah.
So the how is all of us being pretty faithful people? How is faith then a driving force in your professional baseball career?
I think just trying to trust that everything happens for a reason. Just trying to trust that there's a plan for me and my family. Like I said before, a game that you deal with so much failure day in and day out, there's times when you might struggle with that. So I think that's just what it comes down to, is just trusting that, whatever happens for a reason, and just not trying to let the negatives affect that too much. But I mean, it's a lot easier said than done, that's for sure. But yeah, just dealing with the failure every day is kind of what really tests your faith.
You may have already answered this in part, Daniel, but what's the hardest lesson you have learned as a professional athlete?
Mm, I mean, the thing is, even before I was a professional, you come up playing little league, high school, we're failing so much then too. So just once I got the professional ball, I really think it comes down to learning how to take care of your body playing 130, 160 games a season. I really didn't learn that until like I want to say 2023 probably. It was the first year I played over 100 games. I mean, I remember every year it's like I lose like 15, 20 pounds every single year. So it's like really
Wow.
trying to learn how to keep your strength, keep that, the muscle you put on in the off season. Really, I think it's just that's the biggest part of it. Just trying to stay healthy. It's so hard staying healthy for a full season. So just trying to get into a routine of getting in the training room, getting in the weight room consistently, even when you don't feel like it. I mean, I know that's something I'm going to struggle with next year as well. So, but you learn so much. I've learned so much every single year about that.
Yeah. Why don't you take us through that routine? I'm curious, of what does a day in the life of Daniel Schneemann look like going into the Guardians facility, right? Like a lot of people don't know the time that you put in, like the actual lifting, because you're lifting on game days. Like you don't have
Yeah.
a ton of time off day. You don't have a ton of off days, so because
Yeah.
of that, you have to maintain during season. You're lifting, you're doing all of your rehab, you're doing all of that on game days and then going and playing at night. Talk us through that a little bit.
Yeah, so on off days, they don't even let you go to the field to like hit and stuff like that. So there's times when you can go in and like if you want to, contrast tub or get a massage or something like that. But no baseball, no lifting or anything on off days. So yeah, we every time we lift, it has to be on a game day. Um, so it varies. It varies for me on days I play and days I don't play. But if I'm playing that day for a 6:30 game, I'll get to the field about 12:30. Um, I'll eat right when I get to the field, and then I'll go start to prep. I'll just roll out, get in the weight room. If I'm lifting that day, I'll lift. I'll get a we try to lift probably 2 times a week during the season. I mean, you won't you can't really do much more than that. You can, but it's so hard on your body. But, you'll lift, and then right after that, you'll go into the cages. You'll do your cage routine, your front toss, your T work, your machine work, and then straight from there, we have this thing called red machine for the infielders. We have a big strip of turf in the weight room, and there's this little red machine that shoots these balls. So it's like a big group of us. We'll take a bunch of reps off that red machine, and then we go straight back out to the field. We'll play some catch, and then we get into more ground balls, in the infield. If I'm playing outfield that day, go to the outfields and I'll do my outfield work. Right after you do all your pre-work, your pre-BP work, then you'll go to BP. We'll take your rounds. It's like 30-minute set. There's 3 groups usually. After BP, then you'll go in and eat, and then you'll have some time to kind of relax an hour and a half before game time. And then you got your 3-hour game, and then you shower, contrast, get in the training room, and you're out by 11.
Yeah, no big deal.
So
No big deal.
it's a long day. And I love every bit of it, but it definitely takes a toll on your body.
I love that you're laughing as you're explaining it because it does sound ridiculous.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what you do this every day in
Yeah.
every game that you play. Mad respect for that. I know Taysom Hill gets all the credit as being the Swiss Army knife in the NFL. Dan, you are Major League Baseball Swiss Army knife, man.
We got them both. We got them for both
That's
leagues.
I'll take that comparison all day. Taysom's a stud, so
Oh my goodness, that's great.
All right, so before we close out, some quick hitters here, okay? I'm always intrigued by the conversations that are had by Major League Baseball players on the base paths with your opponents. What did those conversations typically entail, Daniel?
it changes every time. Sometimes you have guys that just like to joke around. Some guys are strictly business. You get a little bit of everything. Me just not having a lot of service time yet. I'm not really the one to kind of chat up a veteran. I kind of just try to. If he wants to talk, he can talk to me. I'm not going to go out of my way to bug him. But yeah, it's just a little bit of everything. I remember one time we were in LA the first time. Mookie came up to me and was asking me about the weather in Cleveland, so I thought that was cool. I think it was this year I was talking to Freddie when the Dodgers were at our place, and he was asking me if I could see the tip that the pitcher was giving, knowing he was asking me if I could know when he was gonna pick me off, like I was gonna tell him even if I did see that. But it's just a little bit of different. Everyone's different, so but it's awesome. Just getting to talk to a lot of these guys and other teams. It's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, Freddie Freeman and Mookie Betts are 2 big-time stars and enjoying a World Series championship. So that's wild that you're having those conversations with those guys. Have there been any other big-time stars that have surprised you with how personable they are?
Honestly, all of them are really cool. They're all every single time you get on base, whoever it is, they always come up to you. They give you, they pat you on the back. Hey, man, like right when I got called up, the second baseman for the Nationals came up right after I hit that double. He came up to me, hey, congrats, man. Gave me a pat on the back. So just everyone is super friendly, especially the stars, like the best players in the world. Those are always the guys that are the most friendly. We were in New York. Lindor was super friendly when when I was in second base. So, everyone's really similar.
That's so cool to hear. It's not like
Yeah.
that in every sport. I will say that. I've had some conversations with some guys that, maybe not as friendly as how that works. So that's great to hear. I have 2 questions for you. Okay. And first one is going to be, who is the toughest pitcher to face? There's a lot of good ones. There's a lot of
That's a
good
tough
ones.
question. I've been asked that question so many times, and my answer has been the same most of the time. My rookie year against the Dodgers, of course, Blake Trinan came in for relief, and he struck me out on 3 pitches. He went cutter up and in, cutter up and in, and then slider right off of it, and I swung over it. And I know it was 1 at bat, but I had no chance at bat.
Yeah, you're
And
like, there's no way.
Yeah. I'd like to think he wouldn't be able to throw every pitch perfectly every single time I faced him, but that at bat, it was just a tough at bat. I went back into the dugout, like, I couldn't even be mad because they're just like, "Hey, you know what? He executed 3 perfect pitches,
Yeah.
and his stuff is elite. That slider is nasty." So, probably I'd say Trinan.
Oh,
Okay,
that's
and
great.
Then, follow-up question to that, Jimmer, and maybe you're going to ask this. I don't know. But your most memorable moment in the major leagues to date?
A couple come to mind. I mean, my first game comes to mind. That moment in the playoffs this year come to mind, but it has to be the game I hit the grand slam against the Blue Jays. I mean, it was my first multi homer game, and it was a homer in the ninth to take the lead. I mean, the only thing that makes that better would be in the playoffs. So it was definitely that has to be the highlight of my career so far for sure.
Do you not want to run the bases so fast in that moment? Like, do you have to tell yourself to slow down?
I mean, I was just trying. Yeah, I mean, I was just trying. I don't even remember running the bases. I kind of just blacked out. So maybe I might have ran the bases quick that time. I don't even remember.
That is a kid's dream. Bottom of the ninth, right?
Yeah.
Grand slam to win the game. That's literally every time you come up to bat and are imagining things, like that's what you imagine. So that makes a ton of sense.
Yeah.
And you didn't take my follow-up question, Spence. So we're good. This is the follow-up question that I have. And this is something that could be controversial. Okay. But I'm going to ask it, and I'm excited to hear your answer. Is hitting a baseball the hardest thing that you can do in professional sports?
It's a tough question because I haven't played a whole lot of other sports. But if I'm just thinking about the amount that you fail at it, it's hard to say it's not, you know? When I think because you have that conversation with teammates all the time. Stuff, and I think of being a DB in football has to be tough. Hitting a baseball has to be tough. I mean, guarding one of the best players in the NBA has to be tough. You know, so there's so many things that are tough. But if you have to ask me, I might be biased. I'd probably say hitting a baseball.
I was gonna say I think it is the hardest. Yeah, I think it is the hardest thing to do in baseball. Or in sports in general. The other one that comes up is returning a tennis serve, right? Like returning a tennis serve is very difficult to do. And so if you just put like a normal human being into one of these situations to try to hit a baseball or to try to return a serve, no one's doing it. It doesn't matter. It's 0 out of 10 every time. I know that for a fact. So it's a good debate. I wanted to hear your thoughts. I appreciate your honesty.
That's funny that you bring that up because one of the last games of the season, we were in the cages with our coaches, and one of our hitting coaches, I won't say his name, was talking about how he could. I think the question was if you get 10 tries to return a serve from a professional tennis player, would you do it? And obviously, me and the guys were saying no, and our coach was sold on the fact that he could do it, and so we got in this huge debate, a huge fight about it. And I'm sure if you asked him right now, he'd still say the same thing. But there's no shot. There's no shot he's returning.
Zero chance. Zero chance, whoever that is.
Yeah.
Okay. Daniel, you have some of the most luscious locks in Major League Baseball, but you've cut your hair. Like, what went into the decision to cut off the locks, the flow from outside the hat?
I hate long hair, honestly. I hate because if I don't want to wear a hat, I have to like get up in the morning, I have to wet it, I have to brush it, I have to hairspray it. I don't like doing all that. So now I get to wake up, I get to run my fingers through it, and it's all good. So maybe during the season, I like the way it looks when it comes out of the hat. So maybe during the season, I'll let it flow again. But for now, I'm gonna keep it short.
It probably matters most what your wife thinks. So how's Allie feel about the two looks?
She's the same way. She likes the way it looks with the hat on. but with that off, she likes it when it's short.
And
So
there
maybe
you-
I'll just go full mullet. So it's short up top and then I got the hair in the back.
There you
Maybe
go.
that's what I'll
Great
do.
stuff,
The
man.
party in the back. Let's go.
Congratulations again on all of your success. We can't wait to watch you continue along with the Cleveland Guardians. And at some point, I'm hoping that like in the 18th inning of a regular season game in like late August, when you're down all your pitchers, they let Schnee go to the mound and offer up something against some major league hitters. If you do get in that scenario, what pitch are you going with, Daniel?
Well, when the position player gets put in, they tell us we're not allowed to throw it hard because they don't want us hurting ourselves. So it would just have to be that 55-mile-an-hour just
What-
lob. and-
Floater.
Yeah, why don't you
Yeah.
just throw, the softball pitch, like the old man
little
softball
teardrop.
pitch. Yeah, just throw it
I
way
don't-
up, see what
I don't
happens.
know,
There's- Can you do that?
I don't know if you're allowed to throw it underhand. I honestly don't even know if there's a rule because I've
Oh,
never seen someone do it.
We got to look
but
it up.
there might
we
be a
got to look it
rule.
up.
I'll have to look it up.
Okay,
Maybe
yeah.
I'll look it up.
We'll get the research team on that. We
Yeah.
can follow that up with a social media post after this conversation. But what a pleasure to talk to you, my friend. You are as down to earth and great a guy as you are a baseball player, and that's saying something. So thanks for spending time with us on From the Logo, and can't wait to do it again soon.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me on. A lot of fun.
Jimmer, his teammates simply call him Schnee, and they yell his name a lot because he's constantly making big plays, both offensively and defensively. I can't get over the fact that he hit 2 home runs against the Toronto Blue Jays. His team's down 5-2 in the 9th on the road. Bases are loaded, hits a grand slam to take the lead. Said he almost blacked out as he was running around the bases. Those are the stories, my friend, that I love so much.
Oh yeah, I mean like I said on the pod, that's every kid's dream. Bases loaded, bottom of the 9th, hitting a grand salami, right? Like that's what people want to do. So for him to be able to have that experience against the Blue Jays, incredible stuff. And I can't get over his name. I just love his name, Schneemann, right? Like it just looks good on the back of a baseball jersey. It looks like he should be there. It's awesome stuff. So he was great. I love talking to him.
Appreciate how vulnerable and open he was about how hard it is to leave for spring training and say goodbye to his 2 beautiful little girls and his wife, Allie, again. And they're just apart from each other for 2 months. Like that's the real stuff. And you, of all people, Jimmer, as you mentioned during the conversation, can absolutely relate to that.
Yep, I absolutely can. Done that many times. Have PTSD from it. Like I get to that San Francisco airport into that international wing, and I just like start sweating because I'm like, ugh, I gotta leave again, and not even when I'll be with my family, and I'll be like, oh, this is the feeling that you get. So it's hard. I understand it. Love him being vulnerable about it because that's what's most important. We all know that, and that's the tough part about professional sports sometimes.
The great Daniel Schneemann making his From the Logo debut. Let's call a timeout. When we return, we take on your listener questions and comments in Open Gym. Don't go anywhere. More FTL after this.
If you or your business are looking to reach a wide audience, From the Logo with Jimmer Fredette will help you reach your goals. Whether you're interested in title sponsorship, segment sponsorship, or product placement on the podcast, email us at jimmerftl@gmail.com and let us help you shoot your shot.
From the Logo rolls on, and we now open things up to our listeners and viewers with your submitted questions from social media straight to the great Jimmer, and in some cases, even me. We call it Open Gym. Everybody can take their shot. Jimmer, let's start off with this from @Texakenner on YouTube. He commented on one of our specific pods featuring Jessica and Garrett G, the bucket list family. And when Garrett was talking about throwing his son off a cliff, I mean, took some serious social media backlash there. If you don't know what we're talking about, go listen to episode 7. Anyway, @Texakenner says, quote, when my kids were little, I took them on a little hike in the mountains of Wyoming. We came to a small stream and they thought they wouldn't be able to jump. So they let me throw them across the stream. The landing was a little rough, but no tears. I told them not to tell their mom when we got back to camp, but they betrayed me as soon as we got back. I totally support a loving kid chuck. Your reaction to chucking your kid off of a cliff or over a stream?
Well, I haven't done that. I will say that.
You haven't?
But
Good
I
point,
haven't. But
Matt.
I'm not saying that I'm against it. Okay, in certain situations, totally reasonable situation. Understand completely. What I do relate to is that we've all been to the point where we said, "Don't tell your mom." That's what I relate to the most, right? Where I'm like, you know what, Taft? This is a lot of fun. Do not tell your mom that we're doing this. Okay. That's what I relate to the most. So I love it. I love hearing that. We've all been in that situation before. Moms out there, I'm sure you've said, don't tell this to dad too. I'm sure it goes both ways. But we're in a crazy, great, honest relationship. I know that for a fact. But I totally support it. I understand it. But it was really fun to talk to Garrett about that because it did blow up on socials, and I understand. So yeah, but that's what I relate to most.
Jimmer, I've never done that. I've never, ever uttered those words to my kids. Ever.
Brittany,
I've
Brittany,
never.
come on the pod right now. I want to hear about this because I know that that's a lie.
Yeah, that totally is. Totally. Specifically, they typically know that when Brittany goes out with her friends, I'll let them stay up a little bit later and do things. And then it's always like, hey, she's going to be here in 5 minutes. You guys got to get in bed really fast. Like, you got to fall asleep really fast.
That's so great. Oh yeah. Oh, that's great. Well, hey, we got another one here. Okay,
Let's go.
From @Carl VC1 on YouTube from episode 10 with Yegor. Yegor is awesome. Loved him at BYU. I hope he succeeds in the NBA, but he's succeeding in life either way.
Amen.
What do you think, Spence?
Oh,
Yeah?
man. And not surprisingly, Jimmer, right after we had him on the pod, he gets inserted into the starting lineup for the Brooklyn Nets and starts to go to another level. He's out. I mean, I want to say
he's doing
over
well.
his first 3 starts, he was averaging 6 rebounds, 5 assists, and scoring like 12 to 14 points a game. Continues to shoot the ball super well from the 3-point line, which was probably his biggest issue, according to most experts, coming out of college, was the 3-point shot. So the fact that he's doing that at such a high level tells me everything I need to know about his commitment to the game and growing and adapting, because you got to, at his position in the NBA, you have to be able to shoot the ball from the 3-point line, and he's crushing it.
He is playing great basketball right now, and it just goes to show, you come on Jimmer FTL, you get inserted into the starting lineup. So just make sure, everyone listen out there, if we're asking you to come on the pod, good things happen afterwards. Okay, so let's go. Yegor is the man. I love that kid, and he's done great. So,
all right, last submission is from @BHammerTime Show on Instagram, commenting on a post about episode 11 featuring Dancing with the Stars star and teacher Lindsay Arnold Cusick, where Lindsay talked about the possibility of you, Jimmer, being on Dancing with the Stars in the future. It says, quote, honestly shocked this hasn't already happened. Jimmer, are you shocked that the invite has not come yet?
I have to, confess that I have had my old agency. They have presented the opportunity and said, hey, would this be of interest of yours? And I said, yes, it would be of interest of mine, but it was during my actual career. And I was like, I don't know if I want to do it during the career. I can't really do it because the timing is not right.
Sure.
Right. So because it's during fall, most of the time there's a spring episode as well. I think there's 2 seasons, but that it just is hard when you're actually committed to playing professional basketball.
You
to
can
go
make
on
it work,
months.
Jimmer. You
Because
can make it work. Come on.
Well, the thing about it is, like, if I get on the show, I'm gonna win it, so I'm gonna be there for a long time, and I can't take away from that commitment level with basketball. You know what I'm saying?
Fair enough.
I'm super confident in my ability to cut a rug, but no, it's great. It's great. We'll see if it happens. I'm gonna, I'll get connected with Lindsay afterwards, and see if we can make this happen here before I get too old. So
the fact that you just said the phrase "cut a rug" tells me a lot about how old you and I are, and it probably limits your chances to win said competition because you know what that phrase means.
I absolutely know what it means. I probably used it 3 times in my life. This is one of them, and just having a great time here.
That is funny. If you'd like to submit questions for me, Jimmer, or guests, follow us on all of the social media platforms at JimmerFTL, TikTok, Instagram, X. We love it. And we validate your comments often. Jimmer, especially, bro, you respond to so many people. You interact with them, and I love it. So we want more
100%.
people to do it.
I will interact with you. Send a comment on some of our socials, YouTubes, whatever. I'll interact with it. I love doing it. You guys are awesome. So keep it up.
3x3 update is next. GM Jimmer is ready to go. And From the Logo continues. Stay with us.
If you or your business are looking to reach a wide audience, From the Logo with Jimmer Fredette will help you reach your goals. Whether you're interested in title sponsorship, segment sponsorship, or product placement on the podcast, email us at jimmerftl@gmail.com and let us help you shoot your shot.
From the logo into the final quarter. Hold it up, Jimmer. Okay. You put the threes up to begin for the 3-point shot. Now we hold up the fourth quarter signal as we take on your 3x3 update. GM Jimmer is back. USA Basketball 3x3 is on the drive to gold in the Los Angeles Summer Olympics. Jimmer, what is the latest from your teams across the globe and your little nuanced topic surrounding the game today?
Yeah, so today the season is coming to an end, right? So we just barely had our final, and now we're getting prepared for the last event of the season this year, which is the AmeriCup. And we just barely posted that online of who the AmeriCup team is, which we're excited about. Henry Caruso, Dylan Travis, Mitch Hahn, and Cam Fortes, which we're super excited about to have those guys playing and representing us in the AmeriCup. It's down in Leon, Mexico this year. And so I'll be down there. It's going to be a great event. It always is. Playing against the best teams from North and South America gets you a bid to the World Cup, all the different things. So it's a great, exciting event. Very, very fun to be a part of. And my 3x3 update for today, we're not going to talk about a rule. We're going to talk about my first AmeriCup. I'll tell you a story there. So that's the first time that I played 3x3 basketball was in the AmeriCup. And I played with Dylan Travis, Canyon Barry, Kareem Maddox. Those are my three guys that we ended up playing with for the rest of my career. And 3x3 basketball made it to the Olympics with these guys. And, we were all kind of mixed together. They were all on different teams before. I was a newbie into 3x3. And, we get down to Miami, Florida. And we have like a, 4 or 5 day training camp with each other before we play in the AmeriCup. And obviously it's completely new to me. It's very different. And, you get out onto the floor for the first time and you're just like, what is going on? It's super fast paced. These guys are crazy physical. I remember we played against Brazil in one of our first games, and these guys are huge human beings, and they are just wide, strong, athletic. And I remember I hit a 2, right? I was playing in the game. I hit a 2, and all of a sudden the Brazilian guy that played against me, he turned around and started boxing me out at the 3-point line. And I was like, they are getting the ball. I was like, what is going on?
Bro.
Boxing me out at the 3-point line. So I'm trying to I don't understand what's going on. He's starting to box me out almost out of bounds at the 3-point line. And I'm looking at the ref like, what is he doing? And I try to swim move him, to get around him, so that because I'm supposed to get onto defense. And I try to swim move him, and they call a foul on me.
Boo.
And so, and I'm sitting there like, what was that? And I was like, Canyon, what was that? He's like, yeah, people do that all the time. It's like a little trick of 3x3 basketball. They'll box you out at the 3-point line, because then once they clear it, they just throw it over the top. He goes and gets it at the basket. It's an easy layup. So he's like, as soon as that happens, you got to get around the guy, but you got to disengage with him and run around him and not swim with him, or else they're going to call a foul. Right. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ, what is going on here? Super different game, but I just loved it. I loved the competitiveness about it. We ended up getting to the finals and played against Puerto Rico, and they were very good at that point. And that game was one of the craziest games I've still been a part of with 3x3 basketball. We had 3 different times where the game was delayed. 2 of them were because there was rain and it was coming in sideways. We had a tarp over us, but the rain was coming in sideways, Miami, Florida, right? And we had to sit there. we had to sit there and wait for like 2 times for 10 minutes. We had to clean off the court. People were trying to clean off the court as much as you can. So that was 2 of the times. And then another time when the scoreboard went out. So then all of a sudden we couldn't see the scoreboard. So they had to stop the game to figure out the technical difficulties on the scoreboard. The game is a 10-minute game and it ended up taking about an hour to play this game. We were stopping and starting and playing, and I never dealt with this before. You had to warm up several times in the middle of this game. And at the very end, it was 19-19, and I ended up hitting a game-winning 2 to win us the America Cup and a gold medal. And I was hooked at that point ever since. And just absolutely loved it. And then I just kept playing 3x3 basketball. But that was my first time ever playing at the America Cup. And I'm excited for everyone to hopefully tune in to watch our guys play the weekend, right? Like it's this coming weekend right after Thanksgiving. So we're excited about it.
Let's go. The 3x3 update with GM Jimmer delivering once again. All right, Jimmer, final question is as follows. What are your final thoughts before we say goodbye?
Awesome time today. We had some really great topics. It was fun to be able to chat with you on some Thanksgiving things, college football. Obviously, Daniel Schneemann, awesome. Did a great job today. Super fun to talk with. And we need to get him and his wife that softball job that we talked about at some point. So, but other than that, hey, it was awesome. Thanks for listening. Subscribe for us and comment. We'll engage as much as we can when we'll see you next week.
He is the pecan master. I am the pecan traditionalist. And this has been another great episode of From the Logo. Reminder to shoot your shot in life. We'll see you very soon.